Hi everyone, I am here at a friend's house, and today we're going to work on a program that we can make available for you once our innovation lab is open again, and that is creating paper flowers, three-dimensional flowers off of our Cricut Maker. So if you're interested in this project, as I said, we'll have it available once our innovation lab is open to you. And I would really recommend taking a look at the Cricut design space. It's free to create an account. It has a lot of free templates that are available, and some of these are three-dimensional paper products and crafts. So they're super interesting, and all it takes is a couple sheets of cardstock. You want a thicker, more quality piece of paper if you're going to do any kind of three-dimensional paperwork. The Cricut can also print off normal paper, but as I said, for a craft like this, you want something a little thicker, more high quality that's going to hold its form. So here on our Cricut mat right now, I have loaded a piece of cardstock. We're going to do a simple free on the Cricut Design Space three-dimensional flower, as I had said, and we've already preloaded our cardstock. So this particular project I've enlarged a little bit. You can find it on the Design Space. It's kind of small. I've made it bigger for our purposes and also because it's a really pretty simple craft. So we're loaded up. I've already downloaded and created our mat, so I'm going to print it off for you right now as we get connected. Give me just one moment as we get this going. All right, so our Cricut is ready to load up. Just going to load up our paper. Make sure that it's stuck to your mat. Sometimes it can pull up a little bit if you have an older mat. So you'll just want to make sure, and then once your project is loaded, our little C-shaped button here is flashing. That means that we're ready to go. We're ready to print off our three-dimensional flower. So it's telling me now that it's preparing, and we will start cutting. This process can take a little bit longer depending on what you're printing off. This is something pretty simple today. And a couple of tips. There are tools available so that you can pull these things cleanly off the mat. Once it's completed, it can take a little bit of delicate handwork in order to make it pull off. You can break things very easily, so you want to be very careful once you're done printing during the pull-off process. You don't just want to grab it and rip. You want to do like a slow, steady motion, which I will show you in just a moment. So as we print off, a couple of other things. I mentioned that you can do paper flowers. They make a great little kind of extra special project or present for somebody you might know. There's several varieties if you take the time to look, and several of them are free. As I was saying, you don't have to pay for a lot of the really great stuff on the Cricut Design Space. There's a filter option that you can use, and it cuts out anything that you would have to pay for. So it's really neat, and another great free resource is YouTube. There are so many great free craft ideas out there that you can use with a Cricut machine. I can spend all day looking at them. So online, YouTube, and Pinterest is another great one for this as well. All right, so we are done. And what I'm looking at right now is just the outline, because this is a three-dimensional flower. You can see where it's been cut out, but it still needs to be removed, and it takes some pretty careful maneuvering. Actually, it's coming off pretty cleanly for me. I never quite trust it though, and this is from having printed off really fine letters. Vinyl in particular can be a little treacherous if you have small letters or small spaces or any kind of punctuation. So this is what you're looking at. This is the start of your 3D flower. It doesn't look like much. I remember the first time I did this project, I wondered how this was going to turn out looking as good as it does when we're done. So a couple simple tools. You can get a tweezer looking device from the Cricut. It usually comes with it. We are improvising a bit today, so we've got just a pair of tweezers. That's all you need for this next part. And some glue. So when you're gathering your materials, we have our cardstock, our tweezers, and our glue here, which is about to drip. I'll just fix that. All right, so one of the things that I would recommend is folding your flower before you start. That we start from the inside and work our way out. Sorry, the outside and work our way in. So these are going to be kind of your little petals in the middle. You want to fold them down a little bit so that it keeps shape, and then I highly recommend just a preliminary folding this bit into place and getting your paper to sort of behave for you, which I have done already here. So this is an unglued version of what we're going to end up with. I've already folded it once as kind of a practice piece, and I've really kind of taken these petals and folded them in. Some people will take more time, they'll fold every individual petal. Sometimes you want to fold them out. It really gives it some texture and some shape to kind of work your paper before you just go for the craft. There are a variety of different glues that you can use that are simple. Any kind of paper glue is possible. I don't trust most glues to hold a project I really enjoy, so in this case, we're going to use just a little bit of hot glue, but like I said, it's not necessary. Some people use other types. So, let's start with our tweezers, and you're just going to take your tweezers and roll your paper around to create a nice little tight flower. And once you get started, it's up to you. You can stop with the tweezers. I like it as a starter piece, and then I tend to abandon it and just keep a nice little roll. Now, if you're making a smaller flower, you'll need those tweezers the whole time. It'll get pretty hairy at some point as it starts to come unwound. But since we are using a bigger flower for ease, and as I said, because they're aesthetically really cute, I mean, you can really play with the sizes. So if it's a larger size, you can just go for it, as I'm doing here. So as you see, our flower is starting to take shape. It's really cute little design. There's a variety of shapes that you can find on the Cricut Marketplace. Some of them are easier than others. To be honest, anything that is small and spiky, it tends to look really good, but it can be pretty tricky. So here we are. This little base is part of the template, and this is what you're going to glue your flower to. So I'm going to take a drop of glue here. Just kind of put it on there. Doesn't take much. And then I'm kind of going to fit my design onto this entire flower. So I'm going to end up spreading it out. I went a little wide with my flower, to be honest, so I can hold it in place. You'll want to be careful with your hot glue. It can be a little warm, so give it a second to kind of cool. And then you just want to hold it in place like this until your glue is dry, which is another reason why I kind of like the hot glue. You risk burning yourself, but at the same time you have that quick drying kind of method. Otherwise, you know, you're waiting, you're at the mercy of your glue time. So there we go. There's still a couple places, so here in the corners, we're just going to add a little bit more to make sure that it's nice and secure, because it would be awful if all of your hard work did not pay off and you had a flower come undone on you. So go ahead and go through when you're done, get those last little spots, make sure that it's secure and in place. And I just, you know, I love this project. I'm going to fold my outer petals a little bit as I go too. I've got the ones on the inside folded in, and take these on the outside and fold them out. Gives it a great little shape, like a little flower that's just starting to open up. And there you have it, a very simple little three-dimensional flower project. I've seen these used on wreaths around your house. They can be used to, you know, decorate something three-dimensional like a frame. Simple, easy, and a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy.